Good morning and happy Thursday, everybody. For once, the weather's actually gorgeous outside. Unfortunately, because the days are slowly getting shorter, it's gonna be more and more of a thing where the sun will just be rising as I'm doing doing these videos, up to the point where it'll still be pitch black in the morning. But right now, I can barely see a cloud in the sky, if there are any. It is nothing but blue and yellow. Maybe a tint of white just simply because, the sunlight and stuff. But it looks gorgeous outside. And you know what? It's noon. We've had 2 days of pretty on and off rain. This is exactly what the doctor ordered. Let's see, what's my low, my high, my act of kindness? Well, for sure my low was, a dear friend of mine's mother had passed away. That was, that's quite sad, actually. Feel for him. Hope they're all doing okay. Hope this person and their family are holding up okay. My high was I got to see my nephews yesterday. Again, surprise visit. Not that I'm complaining. I love seeing my nephews. It's awesome. And my acts of kindness were bringing in the garbage yesterday, emptying the dehumidifier, and I actually helped make dinner last night. Which, man, dinner last night was great. We actually had a lot. We had garlic bread, corn on the cob, freshly cut tomatoes. I made rice, and the main course was steak, which that is a Mom Food Chronicle I do plan on doing at some point, but I don't want to say when that is. Even though what I just said probably could give it away. But that's not the Mom Food Chronicle I was going to do today. The Mom Food Chronicle I was going to do today, if you've been noticing a theme lately, on Tuesday I did French toast. On yesterday I did pancakes. So the logical conclusion next would of course be waffles. Okay, so listen, I grew up eating Eggo waffles every now and again. And I haven't had them in years, but I'm sure they're probably still good. I remember all the big funny commercials that Eggo waffles had in regards to, Lego my Eggo. I remember they had those waffles that were stuffed with strawberry jelly and stuff like that. Waffles with crazy designs on them. And, for what they are, if you're a little kid, name brand, household name, they're good. But, when you ever have homemade waffles, it legitimately changes things. And speaking of homemade waffles, I gotta give a special mention to, some hotels have the waffle maker where they have the pre-made batter and pour in the waffle maker, turn it over and wait 2 minutes and it's ready. They actually had one of those things out in, when I was out in Dillon, Colorado at the hotel we were staying at. But it was strawberry waffle batter. The waffles were essentially strawberry waffles and they were great. But that's not really a homemade recipe. The reason why waffles are a mom food is because my mom would actually make waffles. I forget when, but many years ago, my mom had actually she received a waffle iron as a gift. And when she started making waffles, they were a real hit in our household. Specifically, they were a hit with me. I mentioned how, listen, obviously the theme with these last 3 Mom Food Chronicles videos has been, they're all bread type, pastry type things that you pour copious amounts of maple syrup on and call it a day. And they are, and I do. But the other major thing is, like when I was younger, like there was a point where I was obsessed with having each and every one of these. I mean, when I first learned how to make like French toast, or, you know, when my mom got the recipe that my grandfather had, like I asked for it all the time. When I was in the mood for pancakes for that brief period of time, you know, my mom made pancakes. And waffles, same thing. Now, I know that there are people out there that are wondering, like, what recipe did my mom use to make waffles? And I will be honest, I could not tell you. I mean, here's the thing. My mom is pretty set in her ways in terms of how she wants things done, even though logically they make no sense whatsoever. Naturally, I have suggested her the idea that my Aunt Dottie's pancake recipe, which I mentioned in yesterday's video, you could use that to make waffles. She doesn't want to do that. She really just does not want to do that. She doesn't think it'll work. You know, it's not a very good idea. You name it. When, like literally, like I remember, I mean, I mentioned earlier, I remember all the Eggo waffle commercials. I remember when Eggo made pancakes. And it involved like those two sumo wrestlers that were about to collide. And there was like a waffle that fell in between them. And when like the sumo wrestlers pulled back, the waffle became a pancake. So it's a metaphor for the fact, like, I think it was a metaphor for the fact that, like, whatever recipe they used to make Eggo waffles, they probably used to make pancakes too. It's just a different process. I mean, I can't prove that. I mean, I don't have like the ingredients boxes behind me, so I wouldn't know. But the point is, you know, waffle batter and pancake batter, for the most part, really are interchangeable. I mean, I'm sure there's some, you know, nuances that are different in both that can make it somewhat unappealing to, you know, use waffle batter to make pancakes or, you know, vice versa. I mean, here's how far behind the times my mom is. Like, it was really only just discovered recently that you can actually make pretty solid pancakes without melting butter in the pan, and then you put pancakes in there. I mean, I'm sure it's been used for a long time, but, you know, my mom never really did that. So, take that for what you will. But regardless, you know, whenever my mom, like, as soon as my mom got that waffle maker, as soon as I had her waffles for the first time, like, I was hooked. Like, I was hooked. One thing she would really do a lot is, she would always have a chopped walnuts on hand, and she'd put walnuts in the waffle batter. So, you know, she made waffles with walnuts in them. That was pretty good. And in case you're wondering, yes, I am that guy that will just put copious amounts of maple syrup on anything that's appropriate to do so. But there's actually one thing I didn't mention. Like, and I think I'm sure that other people probably do this as well. But when it came to putting maple syrup on either French toast or pancakes or even waffles, what my mom would do is she'd take like maple syrup out of the container. And yes, we were a log cabin family. We still are. And she'd take the maple syrup and she would pour it in a measuring cup. Not like a copious amount of it, but you know, basically she put it in the measuring cup and then she'd put it in the microwave to get all nice and hot. I think that was for the sake of, you know, the food you're about to eat is hot. If you put something cold on it, you're gonna, you know, sort of ruin the thing or whatever. Where if it was hot, it sort of amalgamates together for better flavor, I suppose. I mean, I never really complained. Listen, one thing you gotta know about me is I grew up in a household where, it's not like I was a pretty, you know, decent kid. grew up in a stable household, 2 loving parents, pretty solid childhood, all things considered. But I grew up with my father telling my brother and I, saying, you've got 2 options, nothing and like it. Don't be a hero and choose nothing. Like, just swallow your pride and, by extension, the food you're about to eat, and move on. But I never complained with this. I'm just saying, like, there were times where, that logic applied. Even as a 34-year-old man, there's still been plenty of times where that logic has most definitely applied. And it's actually served me a lot better than you'd expect. Because, now there are plenty of things again, there was a time I actually didn't like spaghetti. Or I didn't like my mom's broccoli and Swiss cheese soup. And now I love those things. So I can't really complain. As crazy as that logic is, again, 2 options, nothing like it. It works. I'm grateful for the things I'm given in terms of, especially when people are, when people make them. And, when that logic works on something I don't like, it does make it a little bit better. And or in this case, when it comes to waffles and hot maple syrup, when that logic works on something I like, it makes it all the better. So yeah, again, I'm the guy that will put like maple syrup, like copious amounts of them, like on the pancakes and the French toast. But when it comes to the waffles, and this is why the measuring cup is so perfect, because you can slowly pour maple syrup into each and every crevice as you're going. And here's the thing. I was a maple syrup guy growing up, not much of a butter guy. I just let the maple syrup do all the work. Now I know why people do butter and maple syrup, because it's amazing. But, I didn't know that when I was a kid. Plus, even back then, I was a lot more, I still am health conscious, but even then, I fell into the trap of, all fats are bad and you shouldn't really do that, even though, actually, by the logic of these last 3 videos, the bad food really is, anything carb or bread-like, because there's, sugar in all those things. It's sugar that's bad. Fat, not as bad, I should say. In fact, in a lot of cases, for some diets, fat is good. I've never actually, here's the thing. I've never done keto or the paleo diets. I have done Atkins once. Technically twice, but they were in close proximity to each other, and it was fine. But I have done Atkins before. And this is back in the days before Atkins really became the name brand product that it was. But I will tell you, having stuff like fruit, I missed having that. That was awful. And not that it's funny, I never really asked for French toast or pancakes or waffles. I never really asked for that during the summer, and that's when, it was the summer before I went to Trinity College, and that's when I did the Atkins diet. I never asked for French toast or waffles or pancakes. I never did. Simply put, I'm sure my mom probably could have made those things if I asked her to. It just really occurred to me for her to make them up at the lake during the summer, especially when breakfast is always more, lighter fare, and maybe it's just me, but stuff like French toast or pancakes or waffles, that's fall, winter, early springtime food. The kind of comfort food that sort of fills you up and makes you feel good all throughout the course of the day. Because, actually, before I sign off, did she do this with waffles? I think she did. There was 1 year for my birthday for breakfast. My mom actually took funfetti box cake mix, and I think she either made waffles or pancakes with that, which, come to think of it, proved my point earlier that waffle batter and pancake batter are not completely interchangeable. But whatever it is, like, I mean, it was good. It was all really, really good. And I'm glad I got to know what that stuff is. I'm glad I got to know how to make. I'm glad that to this day I still know how to make French toast. I'm glad to this day my Aunt Dottie's legacy, still holds in regards to her pancake recipe that my mom now has to this very day. And I'm glad that, waffles are, here's the thing, like, my mom's old waffle maker didn't work anymore, so I actually gave her mine, because I got like one of the Belgian waffles, the ones you see in the hotels. It was only like $20 at Walmart at the time. She never really uses it. She really only makes like, pancakes and stuff, even though I told her, again, you can use pancake batter to make waffles. But if I'm craving waffles or pancakes or French toast, I'm gonna get those things. Although, full disclosure, when it comes to breakfast, I don't really crave that stuff as much as you think I would. For breakfast, if I ever get it, it'd be more like, meat and savory stuff. Like eggs or bacon or sausage or ham. Stuff like that. I've never really been, and I would guzzle like juice or, if I was being really bad, like I'd get like soda. That's fun. Like salt, pepper, hot sauce, ketchup, all that stuff, man. Like, that's my jam now. And that's another thing. Like, another thing that French toast, waffles, and pancakes have in common, at least for me, is, and really this applies to like all pastry-related breakfast foods, like donuts, or croissants, or whatever, or scones, or whatever you're looking for. If I have those things, I gotta drink them with milk. I just got to. Like, for, again, like the savory, greasy stuff, I gotta have juice. With the breakfast items I just mentioned over the last 3 days, I gotta have milk. That's just me. That's my thing. In case anyone's wondering, I am a whole milk guy. Or, I'll do 2%, or 1%, or skim. The point is, like, if it's coming from a cow, chances are I will eat and or drink it. I hope y'all like this video. If you like this kind of YouTube channel, follow social media. As always, have your hung this video for all guys go watch. Enjoy for today. Hope you have a wonderful Thursday. Remember, if you guys want to talk, channel this video, let me know when we're back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.